The price tends to go up 10, 20, 50x. And it would suggest that the price still has maybe another 400% to go, maybe even more this year. If they don't get in on it, they're leaving behind at a top level the biggest revolution that we've seen in the internet and money, and the mix of those two combined that we will ever see in our lifetimes. This is actually a revolution in technology and a new way of doing things. So it's not just an investment, it's actually a really broad-reaching thing. And that's Bitcoin plus Ethereum and all the other parts of this digital asset network. So even if you think, well, what happens if it falls 50%? So 50% is your downside and your upside is 400%. If we look at the previous cycles after they halved the supply of Bitcoin, called the halving cycle, happens every few years and it's predictable and forecastable, the price tends to go up 10, 20, 50x. And it would suggest that the price still has maybe another 400% to go, maybe even more this year, right? There's no asset that looks like this. Sure, you can speculate in options in gaming stocks or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But nothing as a $1 trillion asset class has this kind of upside. So that's the potential that's there. So even if you think, well, what happens if it falls 50%? So 50% is your downside and your upside is 400%. You know, nobody wants their dollar to go up and down 5% a day, which is what Bitcoin does.
Yeah.
It's not stable. It's a store of value. It's more like gold right now. And its very existence caused the central banks, like the Federal Reserve, to set up their own versions of digital currencies. So it all starts slotting into this new digital world. So they understand that it's there, that people want to use it, people want to save in it, make investments, but they also want to make sure that it exists as part of the system that is already in place, because they want your taxes, obviously.
Yeah.
So look, Bitcoin is one thing, which might be the store of value that might turn to money. But there's a whole world of digital assets out there. And many people watching this have seen everything from these digital pieces of art called non-fungible tokens. One of those sold today for $69 million. That's one thing. There's platforms like Ethereum where people are building the future of the internet of value. Mm-hmm. These things have real value. There are also other protocols, tokens, platforms that let all of these different things speak to each other. Like you and I don't know what computer you're on. I don't know what internet provider you're on. And we don't care, right?
Right.
Because it's called interoperability. That whole layer is going to come too. So we're not worrying about Bitcoin. We won't want to invest in it. But if I want to send you money, I don't care how it happens. Or if you want to charge for this video and make it instantly streaming, it may happen over Ethereum, but nobody cares. You care because you get the money at the end of it.
Right.
So there is a huge world of this that's all coming. So, I'm a big fan of Ethereum and I'm a big fan of a lot of these other projects. Problem is when you go further out on the risk curve, you don't know which ones are going to really survive and get the network effects.
Yeah.
But Ethereum clearly has got the network effect. Bitcoin has. This whole space now is 1.7 trillion. If we compare it to the global equity market or global bond market, those are kind of 300 or 400 trillion in size. So you can see how big this can actually get over the next 10, 20 years. None of us understand the technology behind Google, but we own Google shares,
right?
Because we understand where it's going or what it represents as a business. So if you just think in those terms, what does this digital asset space mean? Well, it means a potential future of the internet of money and the internet of value. If you think, yeah, I get that, this could be really huge, then you buy a few of these tokens and hold on to them. The hard thing is if you think you're going to be a trader, you're going to be that new wizard who buys and sells this stuff, you will end up buying and selling your way into poverty. The best thing to do is buy and hold it.
Makes sense.